Hare Krishna.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. So I welcome all of you for today's Vedanta Sutras discussion. Okay, so we were discussing Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam. So we started that. So any Adhikaranam, it starts with Vishaya. So Vishaya Vakyam. So Vishaya, and it is consisting of 5 things. 5 parts are there. Vishaya, Samshaya, Purva Paksha, Uttara Paksha, Nirnayaha. These are the 5 things. This is a way to learn to establish any fact, any fact about anything. So this is the standard approach previous acharyas they used to follow. Even in the explaining about the Bhagavatam sloka, so they will be, so initially they will be raising there you may not see that Vishaya, but Bhagavat Vakyam itself is a Vishaya Vakyam. And on that first Samshaya is raised, that means doubt. Then after that, once again there is, so Purvapakshi's view is presented with Hetu. So everything always is presented along with the Hetu only. So in the traditional approach, nothing is said. Even Purvapakshi's view also is backed up by some Hetu. So that's why without Hetu, nothing will be said actually. So then after that, Siddhanta Paksha is presented, after Purva Paksha. And in that Siddhanta Paksha also you'll be seeing, so hetus proper systematically. So with proper hetus means reasons, so causes or reasons. With proper reasons, of so the right Paksha, that means right view is will be mentioned. Then finally, so from there you can get the conclusion. So this is the approach. So we are going to follow. So let us now discuss the Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam. So by hearing this name itself, Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam, we are understanding. So what is the Vishaya Vakyam? So inquiring Brahman. Brahman is inquiring, Brahman has to be inquired. So Brahma Jignasa, that means inquiring about Brahman. So this has to be, that means inquiring to Brahman has to be done or not. So we are going to research this. We are going to establish this. Yes, Brahman has to be inquired. This we have to finally conclude. This we have to establish. Yes. First of all, Vishaya Vakyam, Brahman has to be inquired. Why Brahman has to be inquired? So why you are saying like this? So that means this Vishaya Vakyam, why it came, what the reason? What reason this point? So you have taken and you started discussing. What is the point? So then we have the reference from the hetu from the which Upanishad? Chandogya Upanishad. So from the Chandogya Upanishad, what we are hearing? Yo vai bhuma tat sukham nanyat sukham asti bhumaiva sukham bhumatveva vijignasitavyam iti. Chandogya Upanishad, what it is saying? What Chandogya Upanishad is saying? Chandogya Upanishad is saying, whatever is the infinite, that is full of bliss. And what is finite, that will be not bliss. That will not be blissful. So that's why, since infinite is blissful, one has to inquire about infinite. This point is mentioned. So you will be now, by hearing this is the statement from the Upanishad, from the Chandogya Upanishad. So that's why this statement of Chandogya Upanishad is the basis for this discussion. If the statement is not there in the Upanishads, we will not take up this discussion at all. Brahman has to be inquired. This discussion will not be raised at all. So, and also we were seeing one more reference from the another place, from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So I will be opening, I'm sharing that. 1 second. I'm sharing the file, Vedanta Sutras file, Vasu's file, so that I can show to you and also explain. So if you see here, one more reference from the Upanishads. Atma va are drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha, maitreyatmano va are darshanena shravanena matya vijnanena idam sarvam viditam. Especially Atma va are drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyah maitreyi iti cha sruyate. This also we are hearing. So what is the translation is of this? Verily, the self is to be seen. That means drashtavya is to be seen. Srotavya means to be heard. Mantavya means to be perceived. So next, nididhyasitavya means to be marked. Nididhyasitavya, here the word nididhyasitavya, you should understand jignasitavya. That means has to be inquired. You can take this also. Here, Baldev Vidyabhushan is writing in this Upanishad statement for the word nididhyasitavya. So what he is writing? Jignasitavya. Nididhyasitavya is equal to jignasitavya. Means then what is the translation of this nididhyasitavya? To be inquired. So we are hearing from this statement of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So Atma means the supreme truth has to be inquired. This is one more reference we are getting to take up this topic. That means Brahman has to be inquired. This is a topic we have taken. This Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam. So Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam. So why we have taken up? These are the two statements we are seeing in the Upanishads. So then that thoroughly we should research. Yes, Brahman really has to be required, really has to be inquired. When it has to be inquired, what is the pre-qualification? So all these things. Why Brahman has to be inquired? So what are the reasons? We have to properly understand. In the Upanishads, we are seeing Brahman has to be inquired, but that has to be now thoroughly discussed. So thoroughly discussed. So for that, so we are going to have this Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam. So here by one means Vishaya Vakyam. So in support of Vishaya Vakyam, that means Brahman has to be inquired. These two are references we have seen. Next, we are going to have in any Adhikaranam, first Vishaya Vakyam. That means in support of that we have these two references. That means Vishaya Vakyam is understood nicely. Now we are going to the next point is Samshaya. Samshaya, that means doubt. We are going to raise the doubt on this. Iha bhavati samshayaha. So if you see the Moola, so Moola file I didn't send, na? Actually, Moola file I will send later. So Moola file, in English it is there actually. In the diacritics, you can open and see. If you want, you can see in that in the diacritics. So file is shared with all of you with 4 adhyayas. So you can download and you can see there. So here next point is what? Samshaya, doubt we have to raise. What is the doubt? You see how the doubt is raised, you see. Iha bhavati samshayaha adita vedasya pumsaha dharmagnasya brahma jignasa yukta nava iti. What is the doubt? Dharmagnasya adita vedasya pumsaha. That means the person who already read the Vedas, who nicely know the Dharma, and for such a person, inquiring Brahman is proper or not? This is the doubt. A person, here you have to see, a person who has studied the Vedas, and knows the Dharma Shastra, should he inquire into Brahman or not? Or should not? Should he not? Very nice translation actually. Here there are no mistakes in this. This is a samshaya. Understanding? Samshaya is raised. After samshaya, what will be getting the Purvapaksha? Purvapaksha will be getting opponent's view. So samshaya is raised. Then after that, so we are going to see the some statements which are in support of the Purvapaksha. What is that statement? Apama somamamruta abhumagat ma jyotir avidam devan. Apama somamamruta abhuma agat ma jyotir avidam devan. Next, akshayam havai chaturmasyajinah sukrutam bhavati. What we are seeing, we have drunk soma. Soma means somarasa and became immortal. We have attained the light. Like this we are seeing in the Rig Veda. This is from the Rig Veda. One more point. Akshayam havai chaturmasyajinah sukrutam bhavati. What is the meaning of this? Verily, the reward of those who perform the 4 months ceremonies, Chaturmasya Vrata. So whoever is doing the Chaturmasya Vrata is going to get the what? What kind of reward they are going to get? It? Unending and eternal. By Chaturmasya Vrata, one is going to get the such a reward which is not having the any ending and eternal. This is the second statement. From these two statements, you are understanding what we are understanding. That is said here in the antithesis. So from this, therefore, we are dharmaihi amrutatva akshayatva sukatva shavanat. So na yukta. Na yukta. Actually, here something he missed actually. What I want to say, I am writing, you change like this. Purva Paksha, you write here. Antithesis. Otherwise, Purva Paksha, opponent. Purva Paksha is here. From here it starts. Above is Samshaya, and this is Purva Paksha. So Purva Paksha is having these two statements. Apama samamam amruta abhumaganma jyotir avidama vedan devan akshayam havai chaturmasya jinas sukrutam bhavati. So like this. So then here you should write one more line. So what is that one more line? Verily reward of those who perform the 4 months ceremony Janani. These text shows that by drinking Soma, performing Chaturmasya ceremony, immortality and unending rewards are obtained. So here, after seeing these two statements, this statement and this statement, Sukrutam Bhavati Ityadishu. So this text, so finally what shows that by drinking Soma and by performing Chaturmasya, and it shows that by performing, by here you should write, by performing dharma such as drinking Soma or performing Chaturmasya ceremony. So one can get a ceremony, one can get, here you should write, one can get immortality and unending rewards. ये strike off कर दीजिए. Okay, what is the now finally? Therefore, text shows that by performing dharma such as drinking Soma or performing Chaturmasya ceremony, one can get immortality and unending rewards. So now you remove this. Therefore, the Purva Paksha or antithesis is Brahman need not to be inquired into. Dharma is everything. So Brahman need not to be inquired. Till here, Purva Paksha stand is over. This already we kept 3. Okay. So now Purva Paksha is over. Siddhanta Paksha. To answer the Purva Paksha, the author Bhadarayana replies with this Adhikarana. This is in this Shastra, that means he is going to compile this first Sutra Brahma Jignasa. So he is to answer the Purva Paksha. So the author Bhadarayana, otherwise, to this, the author Bhadarayana replies by the first sutra of his aphorisms. So saying Brahma Athato Brahma Jignasa. Athato Brahma Jignasa is a reply from the Vedavyas side. Okay. Now try to understand what is happening here. Just if you understand nicely one sutra, then all other sutras also like that only to do. In this sutra, what? First, Vishaya Vakyam, and in support to Vishaya Vakyam, we have seen the few references. Then after that, samshaya is raised. Samshaya, in the samshaya, what kind of samshaya is? Acha, Brahman has to be inquired. So why Brahman has to be inquired? So, because that means why to get samshaya, what kind of samshaya, what kind of doubt is here? Brahman has to be inquired. So some samshaya, yes, when audience here, so if you say to the audience, hey, Brahman has to be inquired, you said, then immediately, so one among those audience is raising and telling, huh? So a person who already studied the Vedas and who knows the Dharma Shastras, so he also has to inquire Brahman. So should he inquire into Brahman? So such a doubt he raised. Then immediately one more person in support of that samshaya. Yeah. Brahman should not be inquired because we heard in the Shastra, by following the Dharma itself, one is going to get the results which are not ending and also which are so unending and eternal. Akshayatva or Amritatva. They are full of so blissful. And such a results we are getting by the Dharma itself. So I have two references. This is Rigveda's mantra. So Rigveda's mantra is here. This is Rigveda's mantra. So then, so why we have to inquire Brahman? Such a point is raised and references are shown from the Vedas itself. So Brahman should not be inquired. Finally, opponent is raised. This kind of conclusion. Now I will be asking question to all of you. So who is this Purva-paksha?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is the same author who is actually proposing it, so that he is making it more vivid, or he is bringing to the light the actual
same
state.
author. Same author only will do that.
Jaimini should be the Purva-paksha, because
so same author means Baldev Vidyabhushan is see, Vyasdev wrote Athato Brahma Jignasa, that's all. Okay. Vyasdev wrote Athato Brahma Jignasa, but to explain this sutra, so we are understanding these sutras. So those sutras are there in the form of Adhikaranam actually. So, but sometimes Vedavyas himself write a sutra to mention the Vishaya, to mention the Samshaya, to mention the Purva-paksha also. But sometimes he may not write. So then in that case, the commentators of the commentators of the Vedanta Sutras, like Baldev Vidyabhushan, Ramanujacharya, or otherwise, some or other acharyas, they will be writing the this remaining things. That means Vishaya, Samshaya, and all others. They will explain. So if you see the Moola file, one second, I will show you that. Where is that? Adhyaya 1. You are seeing this English diacritics file. Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam is there. So I shared na this file. Everyone is having or not? Yes. Ramakrishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, we have this.
Yeah. So this is the Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam. whatever this black letter is there, Athato Brahma Jignasa, this is written by Vyasdev. And on top of this is there this Sanskrit, Ityevam Stite Brahma Jignasa Adhikaranam Tavat Pravartate. So yo vai bhuma tat sukham nanyat sukham asti bhumeva sukham bhuma tu eva vijignasitavyaha. These are all till here. Who wrote? Baldev Vidyabhushan wrote. This black letter this is written by the Vedavyas. So to explain this Vedavyas Sutra. So now this is the explanation of that sutra. This answer from the sutra itself is now Athato Brahma Jignasa. This is the Siddhanta Paksha Sutra. But this sutra, before that Siddhanta Paksha, we need the Vishaya, Samshaya and Purva Paksha. Those things are not written by the Vedavyas. So Baldev Vidyabhushan himself is giving the context actually. And he is entering into the heart of Vasudev. And why he wrote this sutra. So what can be the Purva Pakshi? And what can be the Samshaya? And what can be the Vishaya? Those things. So he understood, commentator, and he wrote. Okay. बोलिए प्रभु रामचरण प्रभु.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Just a quick question is like, so this is like starting with the Vishya and then Shamshaya, Uttar Paksha, Siddhanta and then Nirnaya. This is the way Govinda Bhashya is
Bhashya goes in this way.
Yeah,
Bhashya goes in this way. Sometimes Uttar Paksha, Purva Paksha, you'll be seeing sutra only. If that is not there by the Vyasdev, then our Acharya will write. Some explanation he will do.
So this is basically the style of or this is the way basically Baldev Vidyabhushan.
Whole book will be like this one.
So, but what about the other acharyas who have commentary on Vedanta Sutra?
They will also comment like this one.
Okay.
So everyone follow like this.
So this is the pattern that everyone has to follow. Okay. So thank you.
Yeah, this is the style.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So it is not essential for the author of the Vedanta Sutra to present all the aspects of Vishaya, Samshaya, Purva Paksha.
That is the point.
He can present the sutra.
He will be having in the heart all those. So commentators, that's why they will reveal that.
But at occasions, we can find that for a particular Adhikarana, even the author can also present a particular Purva Paksha or Uttara Paksha also, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Prabhu, will they make it very evident, saying that this is the Purva Paksha I am presenting, or this is
They will not write. Acharya will not take any sutra maker, sutra compiler will not say that actually. This is Purva Paksha. The teacher, the commentator will reveal.
Okay.
Yes. Gokulan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, here this Purva Paksha, Baladev Vidyabhushan is taken from other acharyas because Shankaracharya, I guess he should have defeated also the Karma Mimamsa philosophy and then Ramanujacharya. So in this particular Purva Paksha we are in line with also the Advaitavadis in this particular Purva Paksha, correct?
Yes. So this is the style. So who is raising the doubt? So the followers of Dharma. Dharma means what? Not Bhagavad Dharma. Dharma means karma.
Does it
so
also
study Karma Kanda?
So does it? Krishna Prabhu. Sorry. Does it mean that this dharma here is referred according to the Varnashrama?
Yeah. Its dharma is Nitya Naimittika Kamya Nishiddha Prayaschitta Karma. Nitya Naimittika Kamya Nishiddha Prayaschitta Karma. In the society, if you now come to the reality means if you come to the just how to see this sutra, this is telling about the society only. In the society, people are situated in the Varnashram Dharma. Society means Varnashram Dharma, you should remember. Now the society is bogus. It's not a society at all. It is not human society. It is animal society. So Prabhupada says, and according to our Vedic scriptures, this is not society. Society means so following the Varna and Ashrama Dharma. Human life starts from there only. Human civilization. So someone, whoever is following these Varna and Ashrama Dharmas, they have doubt. I am following my Dharma nicely. To follow Dharma, that means Varnashram society, how there will be Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. And they are well trained. Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, these boys, these will be sent. Boys will be sent, and a Guru will identify their capacity. Based upon that, he will be promoting to the any Varna actually. He will decide. Like if you see students are going to the school and then automatically according to their abilities, they will be segregated as someone as business. They will be studying the arts or commerce or other engineering or otherwise medical and different based upon their skills and taste and so on so. So like that, Guru will be dividing the society. And these boys, they are reading the Vedas. So what Vedas? Vedas means Karma Kanda section, different Samhita I said yesterday. Samhita, Suktas, Brahmanas and Aranyikas, they'll reading these very thoroughly. So Rig Veda and so on. So they'll be reading and they'll be learning the how to perform those duties or the rules and the karma, whatever the dharma is prescribed, that Varna and Ashrama Dharma is there in that Karma Kanda section. Being a Brahmana, one has to perform this Nitya Karma, this Naimitya Karma, this kind of Kamya Karmas. These are the forbidden for them. This karma is not meant for them. And if they do any mistake, this kind of prayaschitta they should do. Like that, for each Varna, there is a certain, so these different karmas are there in the Vedas and they are studying very nicely. They are understanding Vedas very nicely. And those people, if they hear Brahman has to be inquired, immediately they raise the hand. I read already Vedas. I know my duties. I followed my duties. I also should inquire about the Brahman. Samshaya. This is samshaya. If you just you bring to the present day society, how to see this present day society? I am my family man. I have my education. I studied. It's a perverted Varnashram Dharma, present society. It's not exactly there is proper Varnashram system is there. I cannot say. So, but so some just remnants are there. Idhar udhar hodgepodge ka, chota mota. So education system is replaced with the modern education system. They read their books, and after that they acquired some job. They are doing that work. They are having the family and children. They are following. He is feeding them. They are nicely. That means eating, and according to the society's rules and regulations, they are doing their own work without disturbing others. And those people also, you can take in the present day society, they're perverted people, perverted Varnashrama, are the broken Varnashrama. system. So those people will rise. Brahman has to be inquired by us. I am leading my life nicely. I am eating and I am getting the happiness by the money. I am doing my duties. I am earning money, and I am producing the. So I am purchasing the whatever the goods are needed for my sense gratification. I am so in the righteous way. I am earning money. I am enjoying. My life is happy. So I also should inquire about Brahman. Like that, he is raising the question. But Prabhupada says, human civilization starts with the Varnashram Dharma. If there is no Varnashram Dharma, so that is not society at all. That's a sinful society. And that kind of society is already condemned by the Shastra. If someone is doing the sinful activities and earning money, and then it is condemned actually by the Shastra. It is a Nishiddha karma they are doing. So people, so nowadays that means not living on the simple livelihood, simple on the basic. So that means they should follow the Vedic injunctions to do karma also. They should follow Vedic injunctions to do the prescribed duties. That's why our system is this Krishna conscious movement is meant for reviving the society, total society. Anyway, that will I explain even more. So you leave that part there. It will come anyway in the coming discussions also. Now, okay. So let us assume that society is fully following their prescribed karma and earning money. Karma means dharma. Dharma, artha, kama. Dharma is leading to the artha. That's the money, righteous money they are getting. From that, they are satisfying their senses. And they are happy, preeti. They are getting the sense gratification, which is prescribed by the Vedas. It is not sin. They are not doing any sinful activities. They are following the prescribed duties, and they are getting sense gratification in the prescribed way. Okay. So they are raising the question. Well, I also should inquire about the Brahman. Then Purvapakshi is coming. Yes, to support that. Doubt is there now. Whatever is against the Siddhanta, that will be first supported by the opponent. Opponent will stand always opponent in the opposite side. So opponent, what he is saying, I studied in the same, that means my childhood, I studied the Vedas, na? In that Vedas, it is written. What is written in that Vedas? That the two things are coming there. Okay. Sorry, seeing the screen. So then Purvapakshi is coming and I studied from the Vedas from my childhood onwards. These two statements. That means by following by drinking the somamrutam, that means somarasa, which is available in the Swarga. So by drinking that somarasa, one will be becoming the immortal. And also by doing the vratas. Example, Chaturmasa Vrata. It's not that worshipping the Vishnu. This Chaturmasa Vrata, you should not misunderstand. It is a part of the karma. Here Chaturmasa Vrata means. So one is doing the Chaturmasa Vrata. So what we are hearing about the Chaturmasa Vrata? So Akshayam hi vai Chaturmasa yajinha sukrutam bhavati. So whoever is doing the Chaturmasa Vrata, he is getting the unending result. Unending reward, such an unending reward, that means which is eternal. So such a reward one is getting from the karma itself. Chaturmasa Vrata, you should take it as a Vrata. It's not bhakti, not our Chaturmasa Vrata. It is described in the Karma Kanda. So that's Chaturmasa Vrata. By doing that, So one is going to get the unending result. That kind of statement we are hearing in the Vedas. So by showing these two lines, finally, so Purvapaksha says that, see, whatever pleasure we are getting, that is unending by following the karma itself. What is the need of inquiring of the Brahman? We don't need to inquire about Brahman. Like that, he finalized. Purvapaksha finally finalized here. Therefore, Brahman need not to be inquired. Dharma or karma is enough. So he established like that, Purvapaksha. Now we have to answer to them. We have to answer to them. No? So where the Vyas is answering them? By the first sutra. Athato Brahma Jignasa. Atha Ato Brahma Jignasa. Now any question here?
Krishna Prabhu.
Tell me.
Yeah, Prabhu, this is a general question, as we are seeing that that Purvapakshi presenting a statement from Vedas.
Yes.
And then they are presenting their view. Then we are presenting from Siddhanta perspective. And similarly, we see in the ISKCON society, sometimes we present Srila Prabhupada says this, some other person say no, Srila Prabhupada says this also. So how do we basically see when this kind of statement comes where we see okay, they are also calling from Vedas, their person is also calling from Vedas, and we see sometimes Srila Prabhupada says do varnashram dharma, sometimes bhakti is the thing. So how to resolve this kind of conflicts? So how do we basically see this thing in perspective?
So let us proceed. We'll see how it is resolved.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we talked about these 5 aspects. So we discussed about Vishaya, taking the Chandogya Upanishad reference. Then we are talking of Samshaya. In the Samshaya, as an explanation to the Samshaya, we had presented the 2, which is referred here as Purvapaksha itself, which is the 3rd item. So for the Samshaya, where is the reference of any Vedic or any such kind of a thing? The second part of it, that is not mentioned anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, Samshaya and Purvapakshi, Samshaya is leading to the Purvapakshi.
Yes, that I could agree. I mean, just as anything that is to be supported by a statement. So use the Samshaya.
So immediately Purvapakshi is there, na? Purvapakshi is coming with this. So that can be sufficient to raise the Samshaya also. Okay, fine. So that means he is supportive to that Samshaya. Is inquiry into Brahman is necessary or not. So then the Purvapaksha immediately supports that Samshaya and then presents his statement. That's how we should understand. Yes. Samshaya, after Samshaya, so Purvapakshi coming with the references. So that is supporting the Samshayas. Okay. Yeah. So then, after this, so we have to answer. So Prabhu's question is, Ramcharan Prabhu's, Purvapakshi also is presenting from the Vedas. And Sutra is made, and now our Acharya, so Vedavyas also will present his views based upon the Vedas. Then how? So same thing can happen in the present day society also. So that's why Prabhu Samshaya or Purvapakshi are there. They are because of the lack of understanding. Because of not having the full idea on the scriptures, they always go wrong. Samshaya and Purvapakshi is always wrong. Why Samshaya? Why he one will wait? What is the Samshaya? Samshaya. So Samshaya is a doubt. Doubt is because of what? Because of lack of understanding. So that means they don't know the conclusions of the scriptures completely. And they not understanding the purpose of the Shastra in right way. So they are presenting the hetus which are looks like hetus, but actually not perfect hetus. So there, Somam Amrutam, that means this point, that means whoever is drinking the Somarasa, he is becoming immortal. And next we are seeing someone is doing the Chaturmasya Vrata, so he is also getting the unending result, reward. Those two are the Arthavada Vakyas. Arthavada means exaggerated sentences. Just to encourage someone to do karma. So that kind of so sentences are there. That means in the Shastra, every sentence is not going to establish a philosophy. Some are Ardhavada Vakyas, some are the just jokes also, some are just having the intermediate, covering the intermediate truth, or some are contextually, that means someone is playing jokes with someone. So like Krishna says in some place to with Uddhava, hey Uddhava, you are not less than me. That means he is also Bhagavan. Should we understand like that? That means there is so many chances, because so many varieties of, like some places in the Bhagavatam you'll be seeing, Vishnu is saying to Krishna and Arjuna, so hey Krishna, you and Balaram are the what is that? You and Balaram both are my avatars. That means one red and white hair. So there Vishnu is saying to Krishna, you are in the 10th canto actually. That's when this Krishna and Arjuna, that's Brahmana Kumaras boys were taken by the Vishnu, killed by them. So then Arjuna gives the promise. You remember this story in that context. So many places, many authors say, so like this, so many contradictory statements are there even in the Bhagavatam also. Then how to resolve this kind of conflict? How to accept which is the final and which is has to be interpreted? So that's why you need to have the knowledge of so sentences. How many types of sentences are possible? Like you see, like Shruti, Linga, Vakya, Prakarana, Sthana, Samakya. So some sentences are directly telling about the truth. Some are just indicating. Some are just telling about contextually truth. So like that, there is a big science. There is a science of dealing the sentences. Prabhupada said, in that context, that may be true, but overall is something superior is truth. So that means some are based upon context, it is said, or some are the Prabhupada is just saying to his disciples only, not to the whole society. Audience, based upon audience also says it differs. So this science is discussed in the Mimamsa. There's a Jaimini Sutras are there actually. On the interpretation of the sentences. It's a big science. It is very much useful in interpreting the anything. That means lawyers actually, they use this, they need actually. If you know very nicely this science, you can make the best, you can give the best conclusion. Like how this whole country is functioning in India, if you see, is based upon the what? Is running based upon constitution. And constitution is nothing but what? Various statements. And interpreting those statements, and you can derive the conclusions. Any bill is passed in this society, especially if take India, any nowadays all are having this democracy only. And they have some constitution. That's a written constitution or unwritten constitution, it will be. But they are ultimately following the constitution. So in the constitution, actually, there are the different statements. And these assembly members, parliamentary members, so legislative members, they are passing the bills. They are making the bills. And those bills are those, whatever the system, the rules and the bills they pass, or ordinance, whatever they pass, those has to be in line with the constitution. So who is going to check that? That means the proper, that means now we have to construct, we can construct a, that means in this land, this agricultural land, so in the 10 acres of the land, so this big factory can be constructed. This ordinance is passed by the government. Yeah, so agricultural land can be used for the, so for the industrial purpose. Now it is this right or wrong? It is going right or wrong? Who is going to discuss? Who is going to judge? Judges will judge. Based upon what? Based upon the constitution. Constitution is having fundamental rights. So fundamental rights, they are saying that. So what the rights are saying? So every human being having a living right. Because of this factory, so this pollution will come, and this person is losing his right to live. So that's why this factory should not be there. This will be, who is going to give? This judge will be, so raising the objection. This parliament is passing such an ordinance which are going against the fundamental rights of the society, of the human beings. You're understanding? So, but how this judge is able to bring that means how this judge is able to say this right or wrong, this ordinance is right or wrong, based upon his wisdom, his ability of interpreting the sentences written in the constitution. And if he's having such a super intellectual power, so he is able to interpret those sentences in a very as given by our acharyas, previous acharyas, then he can do anything. He can go against to the anything. So once that is rejected, by it is disproved, that means that ordinance is proved that it is going against to the constitution, then that work is stopped, will be stopped. Just I am saying, the same way in our ISKCON society also, Prabhupada words are like constitution. And based upon that, our leaders are passing the ordinance. This has to be done by us. This has to be done by us. So then how to interpret those sentences has to be done based upon the system given by the, that's why these darshanas. Purva Mimamsa is, Jaimini's Siddhanta is wrong. That means he's saying karma is the highest. But the interpretation system, whatever he gave, that is not wrong. Interpreting the sentences is not wrong. That techniques, whatever given by in the darshanas, they are not wrong. Those we are also using it. Okay, so we can use those principles actually. Our acharyas uses, while example in the Bhagavatam, we are seeing the one place Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. In another place, we are seeing Krishna is the Amsha of the Vishnu. More than 10-20 places we are seeing. In same Bhagavatam is having such a high. So authenticity, nobody is highest pramana than the Bhagavatam. There we are seeing the conflict. Then how did it was resolved? Did you study the commentary on this? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So then you can understand how Jiva Goswami resolved that. So that's why interpreting the sentences is not an easy thing. You cannot interpret left and right. Whatever statement you studied and you got understanding, and that is the ordinance if you pass. Based upon that understanding, that will go, that may be wrong. So then how to understand the mood and mission of the Srila Prabhupada? That has to be systematically presented. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is writing a book on that. Mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. I think he's working more than 10 years long, very long back he started. So, what I want to say, the Purvapakshis reasons, hetus, those are improper. Those are improper, and those will be refuted by the Siddhanta Paksha. You are saying this kind of things. That means you are presenting that this Chaturmasya Vrata is giving the unending reward. This is not really a Shruti Vakyam. That means directly you cannot take this meaning. It is what? Arthavada Vakyam. It is exaggerated sentence, just to bring the faith. Then he will prove. This is there to encourage people who are doing the dharma. So for their faith, it was said. Like that, he will be answering in future. It's a very systematic study, actually. It's very systematic study. Some people say Varnashrama should be done. Some people say that book distribution should be done. Some people say that temples has to be constructed. What is this, Prabhu? Then we have to understand, first of all, the properly the whole. That means Upakrama, Upasamhara, Abhyasa, Arthapatti, Phalam. So these are the different another techniques. There are various techniques are there to establish the conclusion. So that's why, according to their mati, so the Vidwan, the scholar, the learned person, he interprets and he establishes his, according to his understanding, he establishes his sampradaya based upon the Vedanta Sutras. Similarly, according to his understanding, he will establish, after reading the Prabhupada books and sentences, his own vision and mission. Then Prabhu, what is the final? So whoever is having the high caliber, so he will be more systematically presenting and he will grabbing all the, he will be attracting more people.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So though they're presenting the argument, there should be some hierarchy, to make the nirnaya. See, for example, two dharmas can be presented. Both are dharmas. But the highest dharma, higher dharma, or highest dharma, it can be classified in such a way. Everyone can present their argument, but the nirnaya should be based on the highest dharma. So is there any guidance for us to come to that nirnaya? This is the hierarchy.
We are seeing various methods now in this whole book. That's why I said Vedanta Sutra took the years, because in every adhikarana we'll be seeing the lot of techniques we'll be learning. It's not just the highest. That is the one thing actually to decide. How you will decide highest? That also comes point once again.
Yeah,
And how to
based on
take the
the,
meaning
as you
of
said,
the
the sentence formation.
yeah,
Each
even sentence meaning how to get before getting the meaning. That means highest to decide highest. First of all, we should know the way to interpret the sentence to get the meaning.
So the grammar of Sanskrit
Grammar.
is essence. Yes, yes.
Grammar aspect also will come now. Next.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, we'll miss the essence. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what is the Shakti? That means what kind of Shakti this sentences is having. That's why now you people are entering into the big world. Actually, it is.
Likely so. Still big whales are already swam in the ocean. Small fish
now
just seeing the ocean getting scared. Oh.
That's why yeah, that is our system, our ancient system. That means our system is a powerful, actually. It's a really highly polemical and very deep. This modern physics, math, what this is nothing actually in front of this. Now then you should understand now. So interpretation of that means what meaning this sentence is conveying, that has to be first clear. So then one has to know the subtleties of the grammar. Subtleties of the grammar. There are various rules will come, and there are also so many rules are there. Anyway, I don't want to scare you. So, but at least Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted. That means he was writing letter to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj. He wanted to see a college, educational institute on Srimad Bhagavatam, Shat Sandarbhas and Vedanta Darshan. These three things. So gradually this thing has to evolve actually in our society also. Yeah, Sankirtan is the highest dharma in this Kali Yuga. Very good. Yes. But to get this Shraddha towards that, so that is a challenging actually. We heard, one time we heard and you got Shraddha now, 100%. And now you don't have any kind of, that means your wife, children, this, that, family life. So these rules and regulations, these obligations, everything is aside. Now, yes, Sankirtan, done. I am going to Vrindavan now, do Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is done. This kind of 100% Shraddha is achieved by hearing one sentence. Only just to, if when you get some confusion, immediately you'll be, okay, Sankirtan is highest. Why, Prabhu? I don't want anything. And after that, are you able to stand on that with 100% Shraddha? No. Once again, you have full prapancha, and then mind will be guiding so many things as important, and we will be doing all those. And whenever some confusion we get, whenever something it comes, then we say, no, we don't want anything. Sankirtan is enough.
Oh, you brought
only for time to time we.
So brought a very important point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we may do the sadhana, everything like superficial or artificial.
Yeah.
The foundation will not be strong. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So that's
it has to be supported by the philosophy, right?
Yeah. Actually, that's why Rupa Goswami himself he writes. So Jata Shraddha, Matkatado Jata Shraddha. What is the qualification to do this? Anyabhilasha, Sunyam, Gnana, Karma, Dhyana, Vritaman, Kulyan, Krishna, Selana. He says Shraddha. Shraddha, what kind of Shraddha? 100% Shraddha. Sampurna Shraddha. In what? In bhakti. So that one can leave the other things. Gnana, Karma, Dhyana, Vritam. That means one's consciousness is not overcome, is not ruled by the Gnana or Karma and so and so. His consciousness is completely, continuously so towards the bhakti. That is known as Ananya Bhakti. No Anya.
No Anya. Beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. So that's why we have to study the books. Kirtan is enough. But do you have that kind of 100% Shraddha? Then you don't need to study. Then don't say superficially. Whenever you have that means something, so books are there and katha, if you ask, hey Prabhu, I know enough, conclusion is Sankirtan, enough Prabhu. Don't say just by the superficial, but you are convinced 100%. That means Shastrartha Vishwasaha. That means that is the meaning of the Kirtan is the essence of all the scriptures. But that is there with you. That kind of faith is there. Or just to come out from the pain of the studying the Shastras. Time being saying, and then after that you are giving importance to others also. Prabhu, I have to see my family now. Without how I can do duties, I should follow na Prabhu. Then, what is your understanding about now duties and this 100% Shraddha towards the holy name?
And karma will carry away.
So that's why here we are stuck. That means tactfully we should not deal the things fairly, bold-hearted. Actually, we should be simple-hearted. Not the tactful or the cunning way we should not go actually. Only whenever you need, you use this. And otherwise, in other cases, just simply enjoying and also using the philosophy just to escape from that time being situation, occasionally using. So that's why one has to initially what our movement, how it goes, one has to do his karma actually. That's why Varnashram system is needed. Otherwise, it's a Vikarmi society. Varnashram society is needed. One has to do karma for to be a human being and offer that result of karma to the Vishnu. Along with that, you also start doing the Shravanam Kirtanam and you associate the devotees. So by in association and hearing the Shravanam Kirtan about the Lord glories, gradually the Shraddha develops. And also you are doing the karma and offering to the Lord. So that is also increases your taste towards the Lord since you are working for him. And also that will make you so stable in the society. Then once the Shraddha developed by hearing from the sadhus again and again, then Shraddha is coming full. Then you are able to do chanting 24 hours. That is known as Ananya Bhakti. There you are, or otherwise you will be endeavoring to do 24 hours. And you are not able to do, and fully, but you are now fully convinced. Then from there, actually, Ananya Bhakti starts. Anyway, that is, we went to out of track. Now, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Yeah, Ramchandra.
So, Prabhu, so you explained us that this is like the hetu is wrong, what
Yes.
they take,
Yes.
and they are Arthavad statements, right?
Yes.
So this explanation will be given by our Acharya that this is because their hetu is wrong and they prove with their statement this is wrong and they are cutting that statement.
Yeah,
and
Siddhanti has to do this work. Otherwise, Siddhanti's work, na? Someone is giving the opposite view and also is giving the hetu for that. Then Siddhanti has to take care of that. Siddhanta Paksha. He will do that. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Siddhanta,
one more small question, I think. When we started that Tattva Sandarbha course, you mentioned that like it's better to read Nyaya Shastra or Tark Shastra before because that is needed. So I think for this also is more needed, right? Like for Vedanta Sutra, if you need to understand because so many concepts will come, right? Like this.
The techniques actually, you need techniques. Techniques of those darshanas. That's what Prabhupada says. Without studying these 6 darshanas, one should not sit on the Vyasasana. That means this will help. These 6 darshanas understanding will help to understand the Bhagavatam very properly. then one can give that means proper conclusions. Prabhu, then what? So then movement, who will be preaching? This much high qualification. Yes, if you want to bring so Shraddha in the people, so that is needed. So gradually, so we have to raise the standard of the society to that. Standard of the society has to be raised to that. This movement is just now, it is in the budding stage. It's just like a small sprouting. It is a very long movement. It will be going for the many thousands of years. And now it is just 500 years. And it's a beginning. And of course, so we'll not get fruit immediately, no? But that is standard, that's the Prabhupada is writing. The presenter of the Bhagavatam should be expert in the subject matter and should present that very so systematically. So who knows these techniques? Because those are all there, needed actually to explain the Bhagavatam sloka. But if you don't go in detail and don't destroy their doubts, they cannot get the proper conviction actually. Shastra artha, that means they cannot come to the, otherwise in their heart, superficially they will accept, because being in the society of ISKCON and such a good society, nice prasadam and so nice people are there. And if I say I don't have 100% Shraddha, then how others will think? Even I may have, may not have, but at least to survive here, I have full Shraddha and the bhakti. So I should accept. And also Prabhupada, I should glorify Prabhupada. If I don't glorify, then I will not be in this moment. So people will simply think that this person is not Prabhupada man. If I say so many times Prabhupada, nicely glorify them, so they will be so accepting me very more. It's not that everyone is like that, but if initially somehow or other, if you got Shraddha and the sadhu, good, but that has to be properly so nourished actually, and able to deal that means society in a proper way. But if you get the ruchi on the Krishna's holy name without any doubt, such a strong, that means such a intense taste if you have, then you don't need to read any books. No need of any Shraddha. That is another mark actually. Ruchi Pradhana Bhakti, that is. You don't need. But if you don't have such a taste, where just by hearing the Krishna's pastimes, naturally you are fully convinced now. Your consciousness is not sticking on anything. You don't have any doubt in your heart whether I have to follow my duties or not, my family duties. Such a doubt you don't have. Immediately you got full conviction, 100%. Yes. So that means taste. और कुछ नहीं मुझे दुनिया में. Then good. You don't need to study anywhere Shastras. Fine. Yes, well. So otherwise, you have to study Shastras. You should read the books. Books are the basis. Without base, building is false. So that's why Prabhupada emphasizes on the books. He immediately, starting his movement, day and night, he focused on his whole energy on the writing the books. Otherwise, movement will not stand actually. Books are not there, movement will be out. So that's why these books, and also he said, whatever books I didn't write, but this has to be studied, like Sandarbhas and many things. Like these Vedānta sutras, he told to his disciples. The Sankirtan movement means it's not just Kirtan. Only Mridang Kartal using and singing, that is only Sankirtan. No, this is also Sankirtan. So discussing these spiritual matters is also Sankirtan. And we are trying to develop our full faith on the Lord. And not only just faith we are getting when we hear the Krishna Katha. So this Vedānta Sutras is also Krishna Katha. So by hearing this, not only just getting the faith, we are also getting the taste. That means Shraddha, Ratir, Bhakti, Anukramishyati. And also we are getting the love. All simultaneously increases. All will be, like if you eat every morsel of the food, you'll be getting the Tushti, Pushti, Kshud, Nivritti. Tushti, that means you are getting satisfaction. Pushti means you are getting some energy. And also Kshud, Nivritti, that means you are relieved from the pain of hunger. And every morsel, so it is happening or not. Similarly, when you study, when you read Bhagavatam, when you read the books, all these devotional scriptures, Vedic literature, so this will help. So this will be increasing your Shraddha and also your taste and also so your love for the God. This is very important. And why Darshanas, Prabhu? Darshan Shastras, they are not final, but those are needed to understand this subject matter very thoroughly to get the 100% Shraddha. Yes, we are convinced. So then still that means to explain others. Also you need, sometimes you may carry the samskaras from the previous life. So who got Shraddha already in the previous life? He may not remember the details now. To establish and to discuss with the whoever is not having such a Shraddha. So to convince them. But still, so such a people also are possible actually. Maybe you are all like that. In the previous life, you already studied all the scriptures and got the Shraddha and following. And that's why we should not discourage them actually. It is also possible condition. But to explain others, previous life you studied, but you are not able to remember, na? But samskaras are only there. Impressions are only there, but details are not there. So anyway, you already read, so immediately you can catch. So you should read once again here also. You should read once again. So because you have to preach now to others with the convincing way. Ataha Brahma Jignasa. This is the first sutra. This from here Siddhanta Paksha is started. I will take another 10 minutes. Ataha Brahma Jignasa. How many words are there? Any sutra is given. First of all, you should identify the words. You should do the Padavicheda. Atha is there. Ataha is there. Brahma Jignasa is a one word. The total 3 words are there. Able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. What is the meaning of Atha? So Anantaram. So after that, after. Atha means after. Atha is having several meanings. He gave now, but you can see in our in the book, in the Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary, Atha means what meaning he is giving? Anantaram, after. So that meaning you should take. Ataha. Ataha means therefore. Yeah. Hetu. Therefore. Hetu. Brahma Jignasa. Enquiry into Brahman. Brahma Jignasa. These 3 words, we did the word, we broke the word sentence into words and gave the meanings. So now if you translate this sutra, what will be the full sutra? So atha means after that. After, that means now is given written here. That means after, anantaram. After, that means something should be done first. After that, something should be done. Then after that, you should take after that. That means what? That we'll be discussing actually. After that, therefore, one has to inquire, or otherwise inquiry should be made into Brahman. After that, therefore, inquiry should be made into Brahman. This is the translation of this sutra. After what? Therefore, he said, what is therefore actually? Therefore, that means, therefore means some cause is mentioned. Now, it is raining. Therefore, there is no school. Raining is the cause. If you say therefore, so that is precede, that means that is, therefore what is having something cause before to that. Cause has to be mentioned, then only you can say therefore. So what is that cause? Therefore, there is no school. I said, what you will understand? You cannot understand it. It is not complete statement. It's raining, therefore there is no school. Or rather, there is holiday for school. Therefore, there is a holiday for school. Therefore, why? What is the cause actually? Similarly, here what? Therefore, inquiry should be made into Brahman. So before, therefore, some cause is needed. What is that? And here in place of now what I said, after that I said, after what? So you strike off this. You write here after. After, therefore, inquiry should made into Brahman. After what? Therefore means
after
so
study all scriptures.
Huh?
After studies of all scriptures, as mentioned in commentary of Baladevas.
Who is this? Which Prabhu is saying this? Acha, Siddhartha. Yes, Prabhu. So that will be explanation. Now, Vasudev gave this much only. After, therefore, inquiry should be made into Brahman. This much only he said. So now you should understand what he is saying here. What is there in the mind of the Vasudev? Why he wrote like this? What is the complete picture? After what? Something, and also therefore he said, therefore means what? Therefore. Now we'll be seeing, Baldev Jaboshin is writing, you can see in English file, ataha shabdau anantarya hetu bhavayoho bhavataha. So the word atha means what? Atha shabda anantarya. That means sequence. After means something is happened. After, whenever say after, that means, so Brahma Jignasa is a sequence. Brahma Jignasa is a sequence. Is following sequence of after what is there means Brahma Jignasa is a latter activity, and before doing the Brahma Jignasa, some activity has to be done. So That's why afterward is mentioning the sequence of the actions. So Brahma Jignasa is a latter action, and afterward is indicating there is one more action should happen before to this. Yes. Next, ataha. The word ataha is there. Ataha means therefore. Next, atha anantaram ataha brahma jignasa yukta ityakshara yojana. Atah anantaram atah. After, therefore, Brahma Jignasa is appropriate. The sense of the sutra is that inquiry into Brahman should be made now. Now means after doing something, and also the reason is there. After doing something, the reason is there. Then you should. That's why you should inquire into Brahman. It will be very, very clear in the next. Once again, he is explaining another few lines. Vidina adhita vedasya apatatah adigata tad ardhasya ashrama satyadivischa vimrushta sattvasya labda tattvavit prasangasya atha tat prasanganantaram atah kamya karmani parimita anitya phalani brahma swarupanto gnana labhyam akshaya ananta chit sukam nitya gnanadi gunakam nitya sukha hetuhu iti pratyayat kamya karma prahana purassara chaturlakshanya jignasa yukta. Very, very important. So that means it's very clear explanation Srila Baladev Jabhushan is giving. Vidina, that means the immediate sequence is the acquisition of the following qualifications. First, I will explain the things in a story form. Then I will fit that into the story, into this sutra meaning. Student, what he does in his life after getting the 8 years old, so he will be going to the Gurukul. Yes, he will be going to the Gurukul, and he will be so after Upanayana Samskara, he will be studying the Vedas under the direction of the Guru. At that time, so he will be learning the various Vedas. That is, Vedas means Karma Kanda section. And also, he is understanding the meanings of those Vedas. And he will be understanding from the Guru his duties in the society. And beginning itself, that student is not being explained with the Upanishads. Initially, Guru in the Gurukuls, what? He will be training the boys to contribute to the society. For that, they should accept some Varna, and definitely they should learn their duties. That means their duties, being a Brahmana, what I should do, being Kshatriya, what I should do, being a Vaishya, what I should do. So the right choice, that means functionality. So that means becoming a responsible person. That is taught by the teacher there. And he will be doing all these activities for the sake of Vishnu, for offering. That means he offers those activities. Atapambir Varnashram Vibhagasha, this is Shrestha. So Sonishthita Dharma Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. for the sake of Hari, so they has to do. But in the beginning, so who learn, they has to do. But so if they are learning their duties and they are following those duties based upon their varna and entering into the family life and becoming the responsible person, and his grihastha ashrama, the rules also, that rules also he follows. These are all based upon the Dharma Shastra only. And by doing like this, what? Ashrama satyadibhischa vimrushta sattvasya. That means while following his duties properly as prescribed in the Shastras, then what will happen? Purification will happen actually. If one tries to follow strictly his ashrama, varna and ashrama rules, what is going to happen? So he will be understanding that pleasure is not the complete. Vimrushta sattvasya. So that means he is performing that, but when he come in contact with the association of sadhus, so then what will happen? That means labda tattvavit prasangasya. Tattvavit, whoever is knowing the tattva, and such a person, association if they get, then what will happen? From that means who knows the tattva. Tattva means truth, Brahman or Bhagavan. So labda tattvavit prasangasya, after knowing after associating that kind of spiritual personality, that means who knows absolute truth in the form of Brahman or in the form of Bhagavan, anything, then what he will do? He will be learning from him. He will be learning from him what? Kamya karmani parimitani anitya phalani. So he'll be understanding whatever I am following this, my varna and ashrama duties, those are all the kamya karmas, fruitive activities. And those we are giving the limited result. Kamya karmani parimitani anitya phalani. Those are very temporary results. Then, and he'll be also hearing from him, Brahmaswarupam tu. That's Brahman is full of blissful, and it is infinite, it is unending, ananta akshaya, and it is eternal and full of bliss, and it is a cause for the bliss forever. And such a knowledge he gets. Therefore, because of that, means now that person is what he is, after getting the association, what he is thinking, this whatever he is till now following, that kamya karma is having the limited result and temporary, and he started hearing something about the Brahman. It is a permanent, and it is cause for the bliss forever. So because of this reason, that means after associating the sadhu, that means after I said in the atha, means after what? After associating sadhu. So therefore he said, therefore is what? Whatever that person is performing kamya karma, fruitive activities, those are all temporary. Therefore, and also Brahman is permanent, and it is cause for the bliss forever. Therefore, one should inquire into Brahman. Now you got? That means in general society is what? They are following their varna and ashrama rules and they are working based upon those ashrama rules. And that is a stable society. That's a human society. And after immediately, so then sadhus, they are jnana sangha or bhakti sangha. Sadhus, now I said spiritual man. That means, so there are two types actually. Either the jnanis or otherwise bhaktas. If they get association of the jnanis, then what will happen? They will be understanding absolute truth in the form of Brahman. If they get association of the bhaktas, they will be hearing absolute truth in the form of Bhagavan. And then what they will do? So then they will not do immediately, they will not stop their karma immediately. I am just adding, this is not the sutra, but just a topic came, that's why I'm adding. What happens to that person next? That I am saying. Next to that person, he is hearing it like this, but who is fully attached to the results of the karma, even if he get the association of the devotee or the gnani, that will not make any impact and he will be doing his own fruitive activities and enjoying. But if someone is so realized those fruitive activities are very temporary, because if they are situated in the mode of goodness, or otherwise this sadhu's kripa, if acts, then what will happen? So then, if they get the association of the jnanis, then whatever work they are doing, the gnani will not say that immediately leave that work. You do this work, kamya karma, whatever the fruitive activity you are doing, that you should offer to the Vishnu, he says. This extra story I am saying, this is, you offer this to the Vishnu, so that you will not get the bondage from the results of this karma. That means that person is now offering the result of that karma to the Vishnu, but he is hearing from the Gnani. Why he is offering? Just to become detached from the result of the karma. That person is not offering, not with the love, just for the sake of detachment he offers. That is known as Nishkama Karma Yoga, or otherwise Nishkama Aropa Siddha Bhakti. But if they come in association of the devotees, that kami, that's a karmi, who is doing that varna, following varna ashrama rules just for his own sake. Now he came in association of the devotee, then devotee says, Vishnu, you should offer the results of this your karma to Vishnu with love, he says, because he's a devotee. That means he is doing his varna and ashrama activities like if he's a farmer. So whatever he's producing grains and he's bringing to his deities and he's offering to them. You are the owner of this. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaji. This. That means one is following the dharma for the satisfying the Vishnu. Dharma sonishtitah pumsam vishvaksena katasuyah notpadayati diratim. So this kind of offering and doing karma and offering to the Lord result, then what will happen? He will be getting some taste for the Vishnu. And also in that sadhu's association, he will be hearing the Krishna Katha. Then that sadhu will be inspiring him to do the chanting and hearing. Then this is known what? That means he is working for the Krishna and also he is doing the chanting. Initially, he might be having the attachment for the family and this and that. But slowly, he will be doing total thing for the Bhakti Matra Kama karma mishra bhakti. So that means he is doing his karma and also he is, because he's not able to leave karma, he didn't get the full shraddha in bhakti. But he is taking up this, he is hearing from him. So that means he is chanting and hearing. That means Swarup Siddha Bhakti also is doing. Sakshat Bhakti. And also doing the karma and offering. Then it is known as Karma Mishra Bhakti. It is Karma Mishra Bhakti. So initially he might be full, not convinced, but he'll be doing everything. Karma also for the Lord and also this Shravanam Kirtanam also for the sake of pleasing the Lord. Then what will happen? At some point of time, why I am doing this much hard labor, this karma, and he will be fully trying to remember Krishna even while doing the karma also. Initially, what? I am the member of the society, my family, and I should sustain my family, I should do this karma, and then I earn money, and so that I can chant. So such a concept he was having. Then he will free his consciousness from that kind of obligations and he raises his level. I am fully surrendered to the Lord. I am doing the karma, but I should remember Krishna all the time. I am not this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. And in that consciousness, whenever he, even if he works, he may leave that work also. Even if he works, he will be in that situation. Every minute he will be in that consciousness. But he will be initially becoming unsteady in that. Before Nishtha, he will be unsteady in that continuous remembering. So that is known as Bhajana Kriya and Anardhani Vritti happens. With that mood, whenever one endeavors, he is now in the platform of pure devotion service. He is trying to remember Ahayutuki Apratihata, unbroken. That means his consciousness should not go here and there. He should not identify himself as with any bodily designation. Of course, he acts in the society, but consciously he is above. Immediately he cannot leave everything. So then, yeah. That means I am not this body, I am not this varna, this, that. And when he fixed actually in this, such a conviction is there, then Shraddha starts actually. That is the Shraddha state. So anyway, so that is the happens. That means basic society should be following the varna and ashrama. From there only our discussion starts. So Prabhu, we are Vikarmis and also we are trying to do devotion. So then what? It is also, that means, if you get this Shraddha, 24 hours you are able to remember the Krishna. And someday you will be definitely leaving that Vikarma. Because bhakti is so potential. Apiche sudurachara bhajate mamananya bhakti. So that means even one is fully durachara and he can do the ananya bhakti. Because Lord himself said. So that's why external conditions are not really needed actually. If one is able to do, so, but one should endeavor to do the ananya bhakti. Ananya bhakti means 24 hours trying to remember the Krishna or the hearing Krishna or the Shravana. Initially he might be doing Vikarma. So when he comes to the full conviction of, that means Krishna is only Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he will also rise. And he can become Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. Then he will leave that Vikarma. He will leave that Vikarma. Why I have to do this? For what purpose I should? I should earn for what purpose? I am the servant of the Lord and I have to remember and I have to directly do the devotion. Leave this. You will leave. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. Shashvas Shantim Nigachati. Shipram Bhavati Dharma. He will become very. Because that is the power of the bhakti. But he will be feeling all the time guilty. Why I am here? He is feeling all the time guilty of his position. Why? he will be not so satisfied actually. By destroying the nature, by destroying all the living entities and their welfare, because they are also having the right to live in this earth. Yes or no? So being a devotee, then his heart will become so soft and he will feel so disgusted to be dukkho darkascha garhayan. Feel so lamenting for his situation. He will not support actually by the bending the philosophy, but he feels simple-hearted. No. So then, yes, like this, that's the power of the bhakti actually. It will make him to realize this. So here, ataha, atha and ataha. Atha means after. After what? After association. After association of the tattva with. That means after associating tattva with. The person who is doing fruitive activities and he associates, he get the association of the tattva with. Tattva with means knower of the truth. So after meeting the tattva with, therefore means he'll be realizing what? This kamya karma is temporary. Brahman is cause for the supremely bliss. This much. So therefore, that's it. Therefore, so he understood and he got little shraddha on this. He understood this. Then he got some shraddha on this. It's not full shraddha. So that means what? That means he is doing till now fruitive activities, but the result of that fruitive activity is temporary. Therefore, but Brahman is also, he is giving the supremely bliss. Therefore, because of these two reasons, therefore, Brahma Jignasa. He'll be inquiring into Brahma. Okay. So this is the just a basic meaning I give and I have to explain. It takes one more class. Next week we'll discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
So, Prabhuji, is this part of just Purva Paksha? So, Nirnaya is yet to come? Like
Purva Paksha, we have to answer, na? We didn't answer. We just took the sutra and we elaborated the meaning of sutra. But sufficiently Purva Paksha's views are not destroyed. That we'll do.
So this
sutra
was
only Vedavyas wrote this sutra, that's all. But Baldev Jabush is explaining that sutra so that this sutra will be answering the Purva Pakshis.
Okay, so we are Siddhanta Paksha right now. So
Yeah,
we've not reached
we are in the Siddhanta Paksha. We just discussed the meaning of the sutra. But yeah, but how that means appropriately, directly shooting the question raised by the Purva Pakshi till now didn't answer. Is not answered.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Okay, all the best. We'll meet next weekend.
One more question. So, not all the sutras necessarily will have a Purva Paksha and Siddhanta Paksha. Some of them, it's very convincing from Vishaya can go to Nirnaya, right?
It can be such informative.
Like moon is white.
Yes.
There is no argument in it. Yes.
Yeah.
You can go to the conclusion. Yes, moon is white.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Any questions, Ramakrishna Prabhu? You are in deep thinking.
It was quite interesting, Prabhu, first of all. And to digest this whole system, I was actually thinking that Brahma Sutras is probably a totally different kind of a Shastric study, but I could grasp it now. Actually, it is coming to the extent of, to the understanding of Krishna Bhakti in such a depth. So this gives all kind of a convincing aspect of it. So I can now appreciate why Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of the Vedanta Sutras.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu Ramchandra.
Like just my just I'm thinking about this like this. The Purva Pakshi's argument when they are giving from Vedas or like other systems. So can we say, like as we are saying, they are basically giving the wrong hetus? Like so, is there because their understanding is wrong? Is because the reason is that they are by default they are not accepting Krishna as Supreme Personality God, or like they are basically like we can say like they are because they haven't studied the whole Vedas. Like how do we say that like from where they are presenting that?
Yeah. Purva Pakshis, why they are like that? Why they are not becoming like us? Yes, bro. You are always concerned for the Purva Pakshi here. In every class, yeah, I am seeing. Yeah.
Without understanding, like say, suppose if you want to preach them, suppose if there is an argument and we have to present our view, we need to understand from where they are coming, like what is their source, like how they are basically being. Like, generally, even preaching, we try to understand like person's background and also that we can preach accordingly, right?
Yeah, Prabhu. So Jaimini, what he did, he took, he gave such a, that means he defined variables such a way, so truth will go to till that place only. That means Vedas. That means how he dealt, you know, if you, that's why you need to know Artha Sangraha actually. So Artha Sangraha book, if you read, then you'll understand. He says that in the Vedas, the statements which are having the ling pratyaya, that means ejeta, just vidirling pratyas wherever they're there. So those statements are only valid. So that means Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. So these kind of sentences are not having any value. That means any statement which prescribing the action, that is only having the power. That action, those statements only should take. That means one should should perform yajna to reach the sarga. If one desire sarga, he should do yajna. So this sentence he accepts. So Brahman is Satyam, is eternal, is full of bliss, is knowledge. This sentence is not having any, there is no action in this. So that's a Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma is useless statement according to him. He ruled out there itself.
So they did the Kukut Nyaya, like they're rejecting some of the statement and just taking some statements like that.
So Prabhu, yeah. So that means if something is there in my mind and I want to establish this, then I will bend everything. Whatever is favorable to me, that I accept, and whatever is not favorable, then I will misinterpret that. You are getting to?
Yes.
So like this, every acharya for their siddhanta, he will be doing something like this. Then that's why Vaishnavism is so powerful and it will destroy all their philosophies. Finished.
So we can say that these six darshanas are basically eternally present, right? Like, and these acharyas only basically becoming an instrument to present in the society so that later, Vedvyasa can actually refute that, right?
Yes. So like now also you see, Prabhu, simple. In your surroundings itself also, if you go outside society, everyone is having their own, without philosophy, no one is living in this society. Some people, they said, my parents only everything for me and I'm serving to them only everything. That's all. They say like that. Some people, they're Desha Bhakti. So he's convinced. So we should work for the country. That's all. Then he'll be giving the 10 reasons. So that's why now we are learning to defeat the few philosophies. By learning this approach, then you should start defeating the. So defeating means you should convincing way, you should speak with the opponents in the society who are coming across in your life while preaching the Krishna consciousness. So they believe that like communist. So basic necessities of the life is the eternal principle they accept. That means everyone should get the food, shelter, and cloth. If it is there, then we will be happy. And that is the eternal state of the society. That is a final achievement in the society. They're convinced for this and they work for this. But you have to now defeat that. You should ask the reasons for that from them. Then you should refute them. Okay.
Okay, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Vaancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patithanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.